Hey guys, what is up? It's TheBoyGerald and welcome to another video. So in a couple of months time, if all goes well of course, we will be able to get our hands on another highly anticipated game, being Biomutant. And recently I already made a video on the 6 biggest reasons why you should get hyped for this game. And I never expected that video to do so well. It actually blew me away and I would like to thank you guys for your support. But with that in mind and the release of Biomutant coming closer, I would like to start a new series which will continue until the launch of the game, in which we will take some deep dives of between 5 to 10 minutes long into specific parts of the game, such as the story, character creation, combat, abilities, the world and more. And with this video as the start of the series, I immediately want to start off strong with a deep dive into what we already know of Biomutant's story and its vibrant open world. But before we continue, if you haven't already dropped a like, it would be really appreciated. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay updated on the latest Biomutant content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Furthermore, if you have no clue what Biomutant is, I would suggest that you watch my previous video on the game, linked in the description below and via the link which will pop up in the video right now. So with that being said, let's get into episode 1 of the Biomutant Deep Dive on the story and its open world. Starting off with the world of Biomutant, since this will set the stage for the story. So Biomutant will offer a vibrant open world in which you can create your own adventure, as you venture through the many different biomes of the open world and the bunkers of the old world that lie beneath the surface. And yup, you hear that right, bunkers of the old world. So as we will discuss in the story part, something happened that led through a catastrophe and created this post-apocalyptic setting in which there are still remnants of the old world before sort of the doomsday in the game happened. The open world will have many different biomes that will make every environment in the game feel unique and look different. So expect to travel through dying wildlands, climb mountains, make your way through the archipelago, explore the underground bunkers and encounter huge beasts in the area that are affected the hardest by the catastrophe that fell over the world of Biomutant. And I think that you can compare the different biomes the best with that of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Immortals Phoenix Rising in terms of diversity. And apart from traveling through the entire world on foot, you will also be able to travel through it with the help of mounts, air balloons, jet ski like water vehicles, jetpacks and even submarines for areas underwater. Of course, the world also will not be empty, as it will be filled with strange beasts and monsters to fight with. And apart from these beasts and monsters that hugely differ in size, every biome will have its own tribe or tribes of mammalian-like or cat-like creatures very similar to your own Biomutant creature. And all with their own outposts and leaders with their own kung fu fighting style. And even though the world will not be as big as some other games out there such as Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Valhalla, this will not take away that there will be less to do in the world, as the world will be filled with lots of things to discover, mysteries to unravel, side characters to meet and interact with, and insane creatures to fight. But enough on the open world, let's continue to what shaped the world of Biomutant as it will be in the game, and the quest of your Biomutant in a bold attempt to save the world. So next up, the story of Biomutant. So the story of Biomutant will be simple but impactful. The developers had their own take on creating an event that led to a post-apocalyptic setting, being that rather than the world before that of Biomutant was destroyed by a natural disaster, war or other common used event, the world of Biomutant has been destroyed by an oil plague which has infected the Tree of Life. And the World Tree is this huge tree in the middle of the map, with branches and roots reaching into every biome in the world. Now the problem with this oil plague is that it is affecting these roots, as it causes that this Tree of Life is slowly bleeding to death, which would mean the end of the world, as it is this very tree that is keeping the world of Biomutant alive and together. And that is where you come in, as a strange and funny creature or a Biomutant, which has to find a way to solve this problem and save the world before it is too late. And oh, remember the different tribes which I mentioned earlier? Well, these guys are fighting each other and it is your task to get these tribes to work with you and together to save the world they know. And you will do this by taking over their outposts, do quests for them and prove yourself to be a worthy leader, as you might also know from Far Cry games. And it is the classic formula. Only thing is that the success rate of the survival story will be impacted by your accomplishments in the world and your decisions throughout the story. And I personally really like it when your choices and actions will have direct consequences in the story. So the more tribes you will be able to get to work together and support your cause, the higher your success rate of saving this tree of life. And you can compare it to the story of Mass Effect, in which you have to form alliances that will help you at the decisive end of the story. The more allies, the higher the probability of deflecting the danger and the higher the probability of a positive outcome. And this is the same for Biomutant's story. Furthermore, every step of the way during your adventure through the world of Biomutant, you will be narrated by a single storyteller, similar to that of Immortals Phoenix Rising. And I also would like to add that this is a game that doesn't want to take itself too serious, which we will probably see during the story or encounters with the world and the way of the narration when the game drops. But yeah, this was it for our first Biomutant Deep Dive video on the story and the open world. Next week we will take a deep dive look into what we already know of the character creation system and the very promising combat system. As you guys can maybe tell already, I'm getting pretty hyped about this game, just because it is something that looks and maybe feels entirely different than what is already out there in terms of games. Therefore, expect a lot of Biomutant content right here at the channel, so feel free to subscribe to stay informed on everything Biomutant related. And leaving a like would also be very much appreciated, as it will really help me and the channel out. Also, let me know what you thought of this video by providing some feedback and perhaps a grade on how hyped you are for this game. And as always, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.